In this video, I want to share with you 4 music and marketing promotions I'd never do again so you can avoid it. And I'm going to share which ones that you should do. My name's Chris, also known as the Artist Manifest from Smart Music Business. I love helping you, coaching you. I've probably spent over $500,000 marketing and promoting my music. And I want to help you avoid the mistakes that I made, because there's some things where I spent the money, it was a great return on investment, where other things, it was like, I would never do that again. So the first one I want you to avoid is buying onto Spotify playlists, all right, or botted playlists. You want to avoid that stuff at all costs. That's like black hat stuff. You shouldn't pay to play. It's actually, I think, against Spotify's terms and conditions for you to be buying onto those playlists. Now, that is very different than you hiring someone who's a team to go reach out to indie playlists and curators and pitch your song to be added. But when they're saying, hey, you got to pay to play, kind of instance, play to get added, you want to avoid that stuff. And look at it this way. If there's some playlists, right, that you're getting added to, and it's like, yeah, we got, 100,000 followers, and you're going to get added to this playlist, right? Even if you're just pitching to it and they say you're going to get added to it, where is your song actually being added to it, right? Like, I get added to editorial playlists when I pitch my song to Spotify, but I've noticed, which is awesome, that's totally legit and amazing, but where I get added on the song, on the playlist, makes a big difference between me getting like a few hundred streams a day or thousands. The higher I am up the playlist, the more I'm going to get seen. So, when you are pitching legitimately to get onto playlists and stuff like that, and the curator, you might say, hey, what does it take? Can we get bumped up a little bit higher on the playlist? This is kind of like getting bumped up on rotation when it comes to radio, which I'm going to talk in a second, where there's light, medium, and heavy rotation. Any radio promoter would try and get you bumped into, start you as a test, go into light, and then medium, and then heavy, where you're getting played multiple times a day. Well, it's the same idea as you getting on a Spotify playlist, but where you're added is so important. But do not pay to play. Don't do any of that botted stuff. Oh, guaranteed, we're going to give you this many, you know what I mean? Like, added to this playlist, where it's like, it's against Spotify's terms and conditions. So you want to be very careful with that. The next one is radio campaigns. Be very, very, very careful when it comes to radio. Sometimes you are better to go set yourself on fire and run down the streets of New York and film a music video and get that on tape, as opposed to going to radio, because it is very expensive and it is very risky. All right. We've had songs chart. And it's done really, really well. I still sometimes hire indie radio companies, but I'm talking about that top 40. I'm talking about when you're hiring a radio promoter that's charging you thousands of dollars, but then you've got to pay gatekeepers to actually get added. Okay, so we one time spent $40,000 on a radio campaign, and I think the monthly fee for the radio promoter was like between $2,000 and $3,000 a month, but the majority of the money was paying what we call a toll to get added onto this radio station. Or the radio station needs you to buy them Xboxes or PlayStations or whatever to get added, right? And then when you get added, you find out that you're only getting added to the overnight. It's called OVN. When you look at your media base or your radio charts, the statement to show your plays, you'll see it's when the song was played. It wasn't played during the morning rush, wasn't played during the daytime, wasn't played in the evening rush. It was played at like midnight, 1, 2, 3 a.m. It's called an overnight spin. And so you paid thousands of dollars and you played the chart game, because those spins go towards the charts. And sure, it's showing that you got played on the charts, which it did for us, but nobody's hearing it. And so it was one of the biggest wastes of money, right? And I was just like, I couldn't believe it. But there was this one station we got added to, it was like a Sirius XM station, and that blew up the game for us, because it was played at a good time. And it was played, Sirius XM, right? When you get added to a station like that, it's not just played in a local market like San Diego, LA, New York. When that gets played on Sirius XM, that's playing all across America, all across Canada, and I think Mexico. So one spin on like a Sirius XM channel compared to like just a regular big market radio station, there's no comparison. And the sound exchange royalties, like, are you kidding me? It's incredible how much you can make from the royalties on that. But when you're paying somebody to promote your song to radio, you got to know how risky it is, how big the competition is. You got to have a hit. Like, you need a hit if you want to get in those doors. But you got to be very careful and know that there's a good chance you are just going to burn and waste your money. So I do not recommend it. You are better just to even hire your mom, your dad, or your brother, or your sister, or a VA, virtual assistant. Give them the criteria, hit up the radio stations yourself, build the relationships yourself first, as opposed to just you paying thousands of dollars for someone to send your song, okay? Here's my third pet peeve, and I don't like this one at all, and this is publicists, all right? I know there's good publicists out there, but the majority of the time, and the artists that I've worked with and seen, and even in my own life, if I really looked at the ROI and what came back, I gave the publicist, $2,000 a month or whatever it is for 3 months, and then they pitch me to blogs, they try and get me interviews, maybe music video placements or something like that, and they get a few interviews, and they have a few of their publicists in their pockets that they get you, not publicists, but like blogs or contacts in their pockets, so they get you, make it feels like they're getting you a few things, but when you really look at it, you get featured on a blog, and they're like, yeah, look, you got featured, and they show you the feature. Well, how many views did that page get? It got featured on there. How many views did it actually get, right? You got on the radio station or whatnot. Okay, that's cool. You did the interview. How many people actually heard it, right? Now, if you got on a podcast and you know that they get thousands of downloads per episode, okay, now we're talking. And that might be a different thing, like hiring a publicist or someone to get you interviews on really good podcasts where they're talking about your genre of music and you're getting exposed. And they maybe even play your song or whatnot. Like, you want to think, like, when you're paying for something, you're trying to get as many eyeballs on it as possible, right? Like, you're trying to get as many ears, eyes, impressions. Like, when you run a Facebook or Instagram ad, they call it CPM for the thousands of impressions, the cost per impressions. How much are you paying for 1,000 impressions, your ad of your music showing up on the screen? Now, when you're doing radio or publicists or whatnot, they're not showing you how many thousands. You're not paying per 1,000 impressions. You're paying for, well, I emailed you out to my database. I sent an email out to my database, and no one responded. No one really dug it. I only sent maybe 1 or 2 follow-ups. I made 1 phone call this week for you, but I have like 5 other clients. And so I didn't really get to you because you weren't priority, and I'm just trying to take as many clients on as possible and not really provide value. Are you picking up what I'm putting down here? And this is why I probably love and preach Facebook and Instagram ads, because you pay, your ad gets shown, guaranteed, to a targeted audience, whether that's your genre of music, right? Like, I can put it in front of Linkin Park fans or Metallica fans or Drake fans. I can actually target that. They like hip hop, or they like country, or they like whatever style music, EDM. I run my ad with my music, the best part of my song, good ad, and I pay, and I know exactly what I'm getting back. And I can tell them to go buy my music. Where this scenario, you're getting on radio, there's no call to action for your music. Okay, they like the song. They hear it. Okay, now they got to go Shazam you, right? So hopefully you're getting Shazam to crap. Or with a publicist, you're getting featured on whatever. You're assuming that they're going to go see that your interview or your feature, listen to your music, and then go buy it. Where when you're running Facebook, Instagram, or even YouTube ads, it's like direct response. The music is right there. Call to action. Download it. Buy it. Whatever it is, it's like boom, right in your face. Like, are you seeing the comparison here? There's no comparison, right? Unless you've got deep pockets, like major label pocket wealth, and so you can force a single to the top and play the game, not just for 1 single, but 2, but probably 3 to finally pop off. Like, that's the kind of money you would need to play that type of world in the radio game. But anyone can get started and be in front of thousands, tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands, millions of people's running online advertising. Now, I want to invite you guys, if this has been helpful, which I hope it has, and I hope you avoid these mistakes, because I've spent over hundreds of thousands of dollars on radio, online, probably spent tens of thousands on publicists over my career, but I've found online marketing is probably the best bang for your buck. So I want to invite you to our next Get More Fans Challenge. If you want to learn how to get more fans the right way, so you have more fans than you had last week, yesterday, last month, and you are growing, because if you're not growing, you're falling behind. So I want to invite you to this next 5-day challenge. You get to work with me one-on-one for 5 days straight, where you can ask questions. I can give you feedback on your campaign. Get a VIP ticket so you can do that. Click the link below this video. I think it's 10xyourfanbase.com/live challenge. It's going to be awesome. I look forward to helping you. Avoid those mistakes, but don't be so afraid that you won't step out. It takes courage, man. You got to step out, right? Like, you got to step out. Like, yeah, I got ripped off. I wasted money. Okay, who hasn't? Learn from it. Oh, wow. Like, oh, I made a mistake. Okay, I'm going to quit now? No, I'm not going to quit. I love this. I'm going to do some songwriting later today. I love trying to figure out the lyrics, figuring out the hook. You know, I love the challenge. This is a challenging industry. It's a hard industry. But those that are like willing to push through, this ain't overnight game. This ain't just who's the most talented either. It's a mindset game. Who can push through the fear? Who can push through the doubt? Who can push through the insecurities when it's hard? Who can push through the loneliness sometimes? I mean, it's my home studio here right now. You know, I'm just by myself. Like, no one's pushing me. I have to push myself. It's different between a job, right? You got to be a go-getter. You got to be a self-starter if you want this stuff, right? And so come to this challenge 5 days straight from 11 to 1 p.m. 11 to 12 is Q&A with me over Zoom. Then from 12 to 1 is the training. The replays will be in the Facebook group, private Facebook group, for 24 hours. And then that day is gone. And then day 2, we'll do that. That'll be up for 24 hours. But then once day 3 is gone, I take down day 2. This is like go, go, go time. This is like, you know what I'm saying? Like, show up. June 20th to the 24th. That's the current challenge right now. Depending on when you're watching this, we might have another one. But right now, as I'm filming this, the next one is June 20th to 24th, 11 to 1 p.m. EST. Block it off. Have your lunch. Do whatever you can. Join the VIP. Show up on the Zoom calls. Ask the questions. And let's move this thing forward, man. Let's go. Let's go this year. Let's do this.